What's up, guys? HockeyTikTockey is back with an all-new video. In today's podcast, we are going to be figuring out who is the greatest name in hockey. So, my name is Leighton, and I came up with this idea. It was actually a while ago. I started putting together this series that is going to be new to the show. But I thought about doing this over the last couple of days simply because of what's been happening. And it started with a post that I saw on social media. It was a joke, or sort of not a joke, but it was just kind of poking fun a little bit at the NHL's sort of incumbent superstar, Connor McDavid. He so far had been held off the score sheet for the Edmonton Oilers in the first 3 games of the season. And there was a post I saw that said 3 Connors have scored in Edmonton's arena, Rogers Arena or whatever it's called, so far this season. Kyle Connor was one of them. Connor Brown, I think, was another. And then Connor Zary scored the other night when the Flames and Edmonton had the Battle of Alberta. So that was kind of interesting to hear as a post. And I guess it was just kind of poking a little bit of fun at McDavid, saying that he hadn't scored a goal on home ice yet this season, and the Oilers were 0-3. And then last night, Calgary ended up hosting Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks. And Connor Bedard is so far regarded as sort of the next in line, the next sort of generational talent that is to succeed Connor McDavid once the changing of the guard happens. And a lot of people are regarding Connor Bedard as sort of the next big thing in hockey. So all of these guys' names, Connor Zary, Connor Bedard, Connor McDavid, Kyle Connor, got me thinking about what is the greatest name in hockey. And in all honesty, guys, I saw an article that was playing with this concept about a year or two ago when Connor Bedard first entered the league. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun idea. So I stole their concept from that article. And I actually stole the roster that the writer, I wish I could give him credit, but I can't find the article anymore, unfortunately. I wish I can give him credit. But this is the roster that the writer had written for the name Connor. So imagine a whole entire team, all guys with the same name. That's kind of the idea. So on this particular team of Connors, we have 4 forward lines, 3 defensive pairings, and then some goalies. That's what we have for Team Connor. So in this fantasy roster, on forward on line 1, there is Kyle Connor playing left wing along Connor McDavid at center, and then his teammate Connor Brown playing on right wing on the first line. So line 1 is Kyle Connor, Connor McDavid, and Connor Brown. Line 2, this is what the writer has written, and like I said, this was written maybe a year or 2 ago. They have Connor Sherry, who I think currently plays for Tampa Bay, and Connor Bedard, the young center from Chicago, centering that second line, along with Vancouver Canucks Connor Garland playing on wing with Sherry and Bedard. So it's a three-man line there: Connor Sherry, Connor Bedard, Connor Garland. So that's line 2. Line 3, they took a little bit of liberty here with the wingers. We have Drew O'Connor, so he's not quite a Connor, but he's an O'Connor, and Logan O'Connor on wing. So they took a little bit of liberty, I guess, with that line, because technically those guys are not Connors, they're O'Connors. Logan O'Connor is listed at right wing, and he plays for the Avalanche right now. And then the other guy I mentioned, Drew O'Connor, he's listed as just a forward, I guess, and currently plays for Pittsburgh. And that would be the line 3. And then line 4 on this particular set on this roster, we have the Calgary Flames' Connor Zary on left wing, playing with Connor McMichael. McMichael plays for Washington. He's a young guy, 24 years old, playing for Washington at center, and he's centering the line with Connor Zary. And the other guy on that wing was Connor Bunnaman. So Connor Bunnaman. He is. Let me check this fella out here. Connor Bunnaman. I don't know if he's still playing. They have him last playing in Philadelphia. I don't see where he's playing right now. I don't know about this guy. Maybe we have to switch him out. So this, like I said, this roster was written a couple of years ago, and maybe that's all they could think of to get the entire team like sort of set up so that there's enough guys on each line. So I'm thinking maybe we can switch him up with the young player in Tampa Bay named Connor Geekie. Maybe Connor Geekie could take over that spot on the 4th line. And you know what else I would do personally if I was going to make this roster? I would bump Connor Zary up to another line, like maybe playing him on line 2 with Connor Bedard and Connor Garland. Or bump Garland up to the line with McDavid, bump Brown down to the line with McMichael, and put Zary up on line 1 with either Garland or Zary up on line 1 with McDavid, and put Brown down. So that's the forwards lines for Team Connor. And then on defense, we have 3 defensive pairings. There's Connor Clifton, Connor Murphy as a pairing. And then we have Connor Mackey and Connor Timmins. So let's just take a look at these guys. So what do we have again? Clifton, currently playing over in Buffalo. I think he's just kind of a shutdown D type of guy. Nothing too crazy. Nothing really comes off the page about him. And then there's a guy, Connor Murphy, which is interesting. His name is actually super interesting. Connor Murphy, playing with the names again. Connor Murphy. The reason why that one's so interesting is because he shares a name with another player in the NHL who we have on Team Connor as the 3rd string goalie. His name is also Connor Murphy. So there's 2 Connor Murphys on this team, but this particular Connor Murphy plays D. He shoots right. He plays right now for the Blackhawks, a bit of a veteran presence back there, and would be playing on the 1st pairing D. Second pairing I mentioned was Connor Mackey and Connor Timmins. So let's see how these 2 guys. Connor Timmins is currently of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's another D-man. Nothing too flashy or nothing really jumps off the page when I check out his stats. I think he's only really kind of been a replacement level D for his entire career. The most games he ever played, even in one season, was just 27 games. So Connor Timmins is kind of a second pair D-man on this team of Connors. So, not going to lie, guys, the Connor D is pretty weak so far. You know, they have some really strong forwards. I mean, line 1 and line 2, like they got McDavid on line 1, but Bedard on line 2. Some great wingers like Zari and Sherry. Kyle Connor is an absolute sniper playing with McDavid. Imagine a true line with McDavid and Kyle Connor playing together. You know, the Connor McDavid line. That's what they would call it, because it's Kyle Connor McDavid. If that was a real line, you know, that'd be pretty crazy. But so far on D, Connor Clifton and Connor Murphy as their first pairing D doesn't sound that strong. And then on their second pairing, they have Connor Timmins, who hasn't even played a full 82-game season yet. And then they have Connor Mackey as well. That guy, I know a little bit more about him. He played for the Flames, actually, for a season. I'm just trying to look up his stats right now. Connor Mackey, I know he played for the Flames one season, and then he was over to Arizona, and apparently last played for New York Rangers. I don't even know if he's playing right now in the NHL currently, but that's their second pairing D. So I'm kind of scared to see what their third pairing is going to be. Connor Carrick and Connor Korakin. So Connor Carrick, who is Connor Carrick? Connor Carrick. He has 8 years in the NHL. Last played for Boston. He played one game in 2023 for Boston. Yeah, so their D is very thin here on Team Connor. They've only got really their first pair of Clifton and Murphy are only the real true full-time NHLers. And then I haven't even looked up who Korokin is. Korokin? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Korokin. I can't even find this guy that they have listed. Corcoran. I'm spelling it wrong. Apparently playing for the Windsor Spitfires, or he used to play for the Spitfires. He was drafted 154th overall in 2018. So this guy's not even a real NHLer. So pretty thin on the D front. Having Connor McDavid, Connor Bedard, Connor Zari, Connor Garland, Connor Shari, Logan O'Connor, Drew O'Connor, Connor Duar, all on their forward lines. But then their D is pretty thin back there with I don't even know who some of these guys are playing on their defensive pairing. So so that's the D's. And then meanwhile in goal, here's where it gets a little interesting. So they have an extremely strong forward group with the Connors coming in with a McDavid, a Bedard. They're at goal though. They're strong as well. They've got Connor Hellebuck as their starting goaltender, backed up by Connor Ingram. And as a third stringer, I don't know how this even happened, but there's literally another guy named Connor Murphy playing on Team Connor right now. So there's two Connor Murphys. There's Connor Murphy, the D-man, and Connor Murphy, the goalie, in the AHL playing for Team Connor. And an extremely weak D-core. So this is going to be an extremely imbalanced team with Connor having a really strong scoring and very weak D. But still pretty, it would still be a good team. If this was a real NHL team, I think with those center depth, with Bedard and McDavid, both basically having the talent of a first-line center and somebody who can, be a game breaker, then their scoring would be extremely powerful. Having Connor Hellebuck at the helm in net with a very, very good backup goalie in Ingram, maybe their goalie would be strong enough to be their rock when it comes to defense, because their defense looks pretty weak. Connor Clifton, Connor Murphy, Connor Mackey, Connor Timmins, and then Carek and Corcoran don't seem like the strongest D-core. But that would be Team Connor. tomorrow I'm going to go over another team, and we're going to find out who would be the best named team in hockey. If you could put together a team of guys all with the same name, who would come up with the best name in hockey? Today we did Team Connor. Thanks for watching.